Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Storytime with Rob. I hope you all had a fabulous weekend. I know I did, and I'm out enjoying this beautiful weather. It's actually starting to get kind of hot. It's still early. I have a great story for you today, one I know you're going to enjoy. I really like this one, and I want to see if you can figure it out before I ever get to the end because it's a good one, and I think it might stump a few of you. This one's called The Ultimate Wager. Have you heard of one about the traveling salesman? A traveling salesman from Cleveland who wagered a sum over a game of golf. Well, here's the story. Well, if salesman was going to lose, he was going to lose a lot more than just a game. So the game he had to win is the rest of the story. He was, as I said, a salesman in Cleveland and just 25 years old. His income just about equaled his expenses. Although he was a good amateur golfer, he dared not wager for high stakes until one day. Friends had invited him to the Pine Valley golf course in New Jersey. He had never played that course before, and Pine Valley was a man-eater. More sand than scrub than short grass. You ask anybody who's played it, and Pine Valley was one tough golf course. Now, the young salesman was no hustler, but this day he has to hustle because he needs the money and he needs cash and he needs hundreds of dollars. So the negotiation begins. Pine Valley can't be such a hard course, says the visitor, although he has heard otherwise. Golfing companions laugh at him at that comment. Would he care to put up a little money? They asked, behind the boast. All right, says he, so confident that for every stroke over 80 on his scorecard, he will pay his companions $100. Well, his companions were delighted. Who does this kid think he is? He can shoot 80 or lower on score on his first time around Pine Valley. Not going to happen. But wait a minute, says the guest. You pay me $100 for every stroke I make under par. And par was 72. Well, now his hosts are sure that he has underestimated Pine Valley. He's pretty good, but nobody is that good. So they agreed to the wager. The first hole at Pine Valley is a monster dogleg. 427 yards from the tee. Woods on the left, sand and scrub on the right. The green is level with the fairway. The problem is there's a sharp 10-foot drop from the fringe on the right and the back, and all of this in a par 4. But our hero is already lying 4, and he's still 30 yards from the pin. But he sinks the 30-yard putt. Then, before he even reaches the second tee, he's already shooting bogey golf. $100 for every stroke over 80. And there is no way for them to know that their guest was broke. And there was no way that he could even pay for one of those strokes that he would owe them if he lost. To win, what he needs to do is break 72. He just has to. Well, that day, after that most important game on that most treacherous golf course, that brash young visitor putted out on the 18th with a round of 68. 4 strokes under par, and his take at that predetermined amount of $100 per stroke was $400. He had won for precisely the amount of cash he needed for his next stop, which would be the place of business of a certain mid-city merchant, and there he left the $400. The exact sum he needed to pay for what he'd already bought. It's many victories later today and millions of dollars of winnings and earnings. But the incomparable career in this professional golfer all began with a game he had to win in 1954. For that day, he was playing for keeps. He was playing for an engagement ring that he had bought before he could even pay for it. On that day, he learned how good a golfer really could be. He learned what he could do when he absolutely had to. So that year, the Cleveland salesman made his golf a profession. And he and it have rewarded each other ever since. The prize he won in 1954 was a girl named Winifred Walzer. Then and thereafter, Mr. and Mrs. Arnold Palmer. And now you know the rest of the story. Hope you enjoyed this. I love this story. Have a great week and enjoy the weather. Till tomorrow, be safe.